You needed it.
Chickens you used to steal,
I don't steal no more.
rabbits you used to shoot.
I don't shoot no more. Cows you used to chase. I don't chase no more.
Get ready, brother. Your time has come.
stand up, you sinner, we got you at last. You can't get away, there's no time to play, your finish is going to be fast. Brothers and sisters, come on, get hot. We'll amputate your bododeo and tie your bones in a knot. Bid it, did it down, did it, did it, down. Did it, did it, did it, down. Bid it up, down, did it, down, down. Did it, did it, down.
Brother, you sure gonna get your face lifted.
And a permanent shave.
Where you want your body sent?
Body? Huh? There ain't gonna be nobody.
You can't make any excuse. Go loom, well you loom, till we pick up loom. Swing you sinner, for making chickens elope. You're at the end of your rope, so just give up all hope. Swing you sinner. We'll stretch you like a giraffe, maybe what you would have. Just give us a laugh. Swing you sinner.
And one fish, two fish. And one fish, two fish. And a red fish, blue fish. And one fish, two fish. And a red fish, blue fish. Alright, Twitch sound check. Good. And a red fish, blue fish. Alright, Twitch sound check. Good. And a YouTube sound check is good. Alrighty then. Let's turn those off. I think I'm going to try to get the Morticia outfit. It's just going to be for Genesis 9. I'm going to slack. I think I'm going to try to get it into Daz today. The tricky part is Morticia's got that really tight leg pose, so we have to kind of build the dress on that. So this is going to be kind of like rigging heels, I think. And I might slack on the rigging and just deforce it and hope that that goes well. And we're just going to make it for the Genesis 8. Because I'm just not in the mood to rework everything for Genesis 9 for this. I might just try an auto fit transfer. We'll see how that looks. And that might be something we'll smooth out. And we'll take a quick peek at Vampirilla dress. And then I'm going to figure out one of the current working projects. Bra and panties are well underway. I think I'm like in the middle of submitting them basically. It's promos. I'm rendering special morphs. That takes a fair amount of time to make an individual render for each morph, which is coming in at maybe close to 50. So I'm in the middle of that. I still have to start doing the description. Or the included part. That's always the hard part. Maybe submit it tonight, although probably tomorrow. Anyhow, let's get this over into... So what we're going to do is... I have to set up a folder for this, I think. Let's just get Daz started here. And I'll go take a peek at where I left off with the Vampira outfit. I should finish that up this week before Halloween, right? Also, I have rum. So I think starting tonight through maybe through Halloween, we will revive the we'll revive some of the rewards, especially the cheap shot. We'll bring the cheap shot back for a few weeks. I think I'll bring back Chinchilla Time too, and we'll bring back the rave. And then for Saturday, not this Saturday, is the next Saturday. Next Saturday, the 25th, is the last Saturday before Halloween. So, I don't know, maybe we should do the 6-year celebration then. Or do I want to have a special Thursday stream? I'm thinking maybe the Saturday stream. That's the way I've been leaning. Anyhow, we'll do something, not this week, but next week on the Saturday Night Social 6-year stream anniversary and Halloween. Woohoo! I can change headbands. We'll bring the raves back. I don't know. We'll try to find something else fun to do. Anywho. Not there's anybody watching this. Why am I watching the YouTube? The YouTube is useless. I'll watch the Twitch. One viewer, and that's probably me. Okay, let's see where we are. Content library. I'm going to get out of the test folders. We're going to come down here to... Oh, I did set up the Morticia. I'm only going to do... Are you done, actually? I actually may be done with Morticia, actually. Never mind. So, I do have the leg pose. I do have material options. You know what? This looks like it's more or less... I think maybe we'll give it a test run. And maybe I'll just move it into the Discord and stick it in the free stuff. Let's see if we can get it over to... So where did I leave off the Vampira? Did I get the Vampira? So I have the G8 Vampira. I don't need that leg pose. Although you probably want to... Actually, Vampira, much like Morticia, you probably want to put the legs in. But that's not a necessity. Oops. So I think I'm just going to lose that. It's not like I can't redo this if I have to. Yo, Charles. 43 months, dude. Thanks. I hope you're feeling well today. Vampira 9. Let's lose the leg pose. I was going to work on the Morticia outfit, but it looks like I might have actually done it. and just abandoned it these many years ago. I might retweak this shape here. And I might not make Morticia for Genesis 9. She's a little tricky to rig, not gonna lie. But it looks like I got rendered thumbnails in here, so it looks like I was almost done, and I don't know why I never released it. Did I ever put it in the Discord? I don't know. We'll redo it. Anyhow, let's take a look at where we left off with Vampira. Was that just last week or the week before? I distract so easy. Vampira, where are you? I think I did re-rig that one for Genesis 9. And what are you? Why do I have two of you? One is what's the date on that? October 13th. Monday, October 13th. And you are Monday, October 13th. That is 4 p.m. That one is 3:56. I'm hanging out here, still battling the same. Oh no, I'm sorry, dude. Yeah. So anyhow, I'll keep an eye out. I'll just make the shout outs. Don't worry about it. Just relax. If you nod off or something, no worries, man. So I think I'm going to. I think I will. I think I will keep the leg pose. Can I just undo? I'm just undoing back until. Do I get this back? I'm not getting it back. I think the delete was one step too far. That's okay. We'll remake the leg pose. I think I will include a pose that puts the legs together. Um, let's see where we left off with this. Let's get a Genesis 9 8 in here. And we'll polish this up and save it out. And apparently I've got, and we'll take a look at Morticia. Looks like it's almost done. We'll double check that. I'll try to maybe just do a Slack conversion to Genesis 9. All right, there we go. Let's load you in. Did I put a texture on here yet? I did put the texture on here. So, and if we pose the legs, I'm going to save the leg pose. Let's do that. Let's select that. So basically, we just bend them in. And straight leg pose tends to be 6 degrees in. Feet together is about 11, I think. Minus 11 side to side. What's that right about there? And minus 11. No, actually this I'm on the other leg, so that's an 11. There we go. I think that's good. You still want to, I think it'll still sim from there, right? I'm going to cancel that. We're going to put a floor in. Let me drop in my where is it? There's a floor in here somewhere. I have a, or maybe I don't. Why I scrubbed that clean, didn't I? I will just have to create a new primitive then. Plane. I'm just going to drop my plane in here. We'll make that plane a little bit larger. We'll set that color to, it is white. It's shiny though. We'll take the, we'll adjust the glossy roughness on that. We'll just simulate this real quick and see how it's looking. You know what? I think that's going to do the trick. I like that. I think that'll do, pig. That'll do. That's one of my favorite lines from Babe. I haven't seen Babe in a while. That's an awesome movie. All right, let's do some thumbnail rendering here. We'll do the tip files and then we'll convert those. And I'll save this as a material. I think I have it saved as a material preset over in the other one. So this looks good to go. I just need to, we'll come over to render settings, right? General. Our tip files are 250. I used to do 512 by 512 at Renderosity, but Daz has an actual size they want, 256. They'd like it a little smaller, or else they won't let me submit the product. They'll whine. I think we'll do that. Do I have a background in here? I don't think I do. Did I not change? Oh, we're constraining proportions. There we go. We'll fix that. That's better. Yo, Leo, how are you doing? Recreating Clown Knife. Both. Actually, both. This is the vampire address. Vampira is the original horror hostess from the 50s. And then she's famously in Plan 9 from Outer Space. Also, I have the Morticia Addams dress. So I'm trying to. We're pretty close to finishing these up, so I'm putting some final touches on them, and I think I'll share them in the free stuff. So anyhow, let's I'm gonna Elvira copied the look. Yes, pretty much. Well, the thing with Elvira is I think originally when they were getting ready to do the Elvira show, they actually were, I thought they were like talking with the actress to have Vampira do it. And for whatever reasons that it wasn't that fell through. And so they kind of retooled their idea to be Elvira. And I think she pretty much has the look from. So I think the original kind of look is, of course, Morticia Addams from the comics, whose name, the guy who did the comics name is escaping me. Um, 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 um. I think he did those in the 30s and the 40s originally. Hold on, I gotta Google this. Addams Family comic strips. Wikipedia, the Addams Family, originally Charles Addams, created by Charles Addams, was the guy who created him. Originally published in the New Yorker from 1938 to 1988. There you go. So I believe I think she probably got kind of the inspiration for her look from Morticia Addams. And actually, I'm going to look up the actress's name for Vampira. She has a really cool name. She was an interesting character. I can't even. Mila Numi was the actress who played Vampira. Anyhow, I'm going to move my content library over to the side for a second. I'm going to turn on iRay so we can kind of see what we're looking at as I change and we're going to hide that. That plane is just there to catch, and I'm going to hide Genesis 8. We're just going to render the dress out. And I'm going to use one of my spooky options. You know Mila, but I think Charles knows Mila. I might be getting the name wrong. I think Charles renders one, actually. Dum 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 dum. My brain has stopped. I'm going to go over here to my dad's folders, and we're going to navigate down to. I don't actually see anything naughty, but that could be mistaken for naughty. She's got a skin suit on. It's probably fine. Let's head over to the light presets and into my iRay folder and into, you know what, I think I can bring this back now. I have no idea why I have Puppeteer there. I never use it. All right, the click and renders are my favorites. Let's look at there's click and renders for spooky. We'll look at the spooky click and renders and we'll see if there's an appropriate. Too strong. Man, those are bright. That was not bad. I'm getting the light in that picture, though. I kind of like that. That looks creepy, except it's... I think I'll dial it back. It's supposed to be black. Let's face it. I don't know. Let me tweak. Let me see what the surfaces are looking like on that. I might need to tweak the surfaces a little bit. Something like metallicity is down, glossy roughness is flat. You know what? Maybe I'll just manually tweak the glossy color here. If I just add that with the base color, what is my base color, by the way? My base color is, what does that say? Vampire dress base color. There we go. So maybe we'll swap that into here. Nope, I'm still getting. I don't think I've got top coat color going on in here. I think that's just coming from the lights. I have the sneaking suspicion if I made this black. Let's pop into the render settings. Let's check the tone mapping. 13, you know what? I'm going to change you to 14. That's a little bit better. I should probably use a lighter. Do I get any weird color backgrounds with this set? That looks better, except it's hard to see. Let's take a look at this. Which one has the Cake one? Cake one. There we go. This is the one with the bold colors in the background. That might do the trick. I can always maybe lower that so it looks a little dark. Maybe I'll go with that. I'm getting a little bit of that light from the background in there, though. If we do that, does that help? That actually, if we look down on it, I think that's going to be my thumbnail there. I think we'll use that for the dress. Control R. All right, good enough. Let's save that. I was last working at saving out promo images. So let's come over here, and you're back in creepy season. I am working on this one right now. People, Genesis 8, clothing, me, Vampira. We'll swap that out. Also, I'll just swap out the material thumbnail as well. I'm going to turn this gray just for the purposes of running in out a default D-Force thumbnail as well. I should probably save this. So for purposes of this, we'll just say none on that. Can I make you a cool blue? I'm going to render that. Let's save that as the Vampire D-Force default. I'll write that there. Let's flip back over to here. Here, let's browse the folder location, and we'll fix these. So that goes away. We'll resize you to be that 91 by 91 that Daz wants for thumbnail size. All right, we're going to rename that to get rid of the extra garbage the resizer adds and make it a proper thumbnail name that Daz will be happy with. And that was the last thing I was doing, so these are set. All right, then we'll just do the same thing over here in the material file. Get rid of teeny thumb. And we'll just take these two. I'm just going to resize those. I have a deforce preset. Well, let's take a look. Do I need to, or do I want to just get rid of that? You know what? I think I'm just going to get rid of that. I don't think I need those. Maybe I'll leave that there. And maybe I'll shove that into that director. Let's take a look. Those are fine. We got to rename those. Rename with Power Renamer. Apply. Close. Let me take a look at what we got in here. Simulation settings. This this little preset adjusts the simulation settings to work at scene resolution instead of the default resolution, and it also chooses the best collision settings versus good or better. And then are these my current generic shaders? Those are my current generic shaders. I'm gonna, you know what? I'm gonna leave those there, and I will move the D4 settings into that. Probably good. Also, I can use this on the G8 version or G9 version, so we'll copy those. Let's go take a look at what we got over here. All right, that I'm going to re-render. This, I'm just going to put this right in here, so that can be used with either one. So let's take a look at what we've got going here. One of these dresses needs to go away. And I'm not sure which one. Do I get a date on you? 10/13, 4 p.m. 10/13, 3:52. So there's probably a reason. Oh, that one looks like Genesis 8. I'm going to cut you. I'm just going to stick you all the way up here because you're garbage. All right, so let's pop. So let's refresh. There we go. Now we have a nice pretty thumbnail for the outfit. And we got nice pretty thumbnails here and here. And we'll pop over to here. And oh, I should make a leg pose, shouldn't I? And I think we got a leg pose going on here. We'll do that. So I'm going to hide the dress. I'm going to bring Genesis 8 back. We're going to just we're just going to render out just the legs. I need a new camera. I'm going to switch to my new camera now that I've got it. That's going to be, we're going to save a pose of just the legs, and we're going to make a render of just the legs. I'm going to zoom a little bit. We'll avoid the crotch. So I'm going to put my generic mannequin shader on there. We'll come back over to here. Let's save as a pose preset. Do I want to save as a hierarchical pose preset? You know what? I think we'll do that. That way, if you have either the dress or the figure posed, it will still pose the legs. So we'll do hierarchical pose preset. Because we're fancy that way. Vampire dress, leg pose, G8 female, legs, pose, G8 female. We're going to do that. I'm not going to change anything on that. And we're just going to uncheck uncheck everything, and we're just going to go down to the parts we want. There's an easier way to do this. I've remembered what it is now. We're going to select the parts we want in the scene first. So I'm just going to select all of those. Now we're going to, and then I need to select that. And now we can save as a hierarchical preset. And it's a little easier than going through and checking everything if you have these already pre-selected. Now we'll just do you as a legs pose. Do that in this. And do I not have the, I do have the dress selected. That's a material preset, damn it. I want the pose preset. There we go. Let's try this again. Legs, pose, boink. That's better. Let's uncheck all. And then let's come down. Actually, what we can do is we can check only scene selected. There we go. That was the reason for selecting all this. And then boom, I'm ready to save. Accept that. We should be good to go. I have to wait because there we go. And then we'll just render that. Save that. I'm in the wrong folder, aren't I? I just saved that over here, didn't I? I did not. Where did I save you? Damn it. I'm going to cancel that. Where are you? You're right there. Why am I not seeing? It's right there. Why did I not see this when I tried saving? Let's try this again. Oh, I'm in the material folders. That's my problem. Doy. There it is. All right. Get rid of that. Resize this. Rename that. Using the old power renamer. Refresh just to see our change. There we go. All right, I'm done with that. I think this is good. Let's go finish up on the G9. All right, let's get a G9 in here. How about that? It's a female outfit, so I'm going to target the female. And while we're looking at the legs, let's save out the leg. Let's double check. I got a leg pose in here already, don't I? I do. So let's save this as a thumbnail. Let's, I'm going to apply my mannequin shader to that. And then we'll just render that. And save that. All right, we're back over here. And I'm going to save the legs. All right, let's dial in the feminine shape for that. Go to parameters. I'll hit favorites because I had that marked as a favorite. Makes it a lot easier to find it. All right, let's drop in the dress. Let's simulate that. I'm going to turn off the eye ray for a little bit here. Go back to texture shaded. And I need my plane back in here to keep the dress from falling. Did I delete my plane or did I? Oh, there it is. Got it. All right, let's simulate that. Seems to be working out all right. All right, is good. Hide that, show that. Let's hide that plane. Tighten up my, like so. All right, let's make a thumbnail out of that. Should be fine. Save you over that. Okay, I think I might be good to go. Vampire D-Force default. Did I? Yeah, I can get rid of that. I should save the material file in here though for this. So I'm going to just delete that because we have a D-Force default over here. And let's select the dress. Let's select the dress. Let's do a material preset. And I don't know, what did I call it over here? Vampire dress. I'll just call it vampire dress. It's in materials. Hopefully you can figure it out. I should say vampire dress matte. We'll rename the other one too. Vampire dress. No, I'm going to say black. We'll say vampire dress black. That gives you an idea. It's a color. We will uncheck our simulation settings and we'll go ahead and save that. Now we impatiently wait for a little bit. I think we still have the last render was the dress, so I should just be able to save that over the tip file without having to re-render. All right, it's good. And I should be able to just do this. Pop over to here and replace that. All right, that looks good. These are fine. So we just need to make adjustments to these. Over here, the Genesis 9 version. So we lose these crappy thumbnails and we're going to make better thumbnails out of these. Run the resizer. Run the renamer. Should be good. Let's take a look at what we got in the materials. All right, that goes away. And we'll just resize you and rename you. Oops. I can manually do this too. Since am I in the right spot? Nope, right there. And then we'll get rid of that tip. That should do the trick. All right, let's come over here and refresh. There we go. We got our nice thumbnail now. Over here, refresh. Those are looking good. I think we're nearly done. So in here, I'm going to call that vampire address black. All right, we're good. Let's take a look at what's in the data folder. So this is just about ready to zip up and share. It doesn't have any cool Morse. Let me add my adjustment Morse into these real quick. he said not happy with things. So for that, I need a special file. I'm going to save you file, save as, scene, projects, creepy season, and Vampira, and I'll stick you over here in the whip folder, and we'll call you Vampira 2 Duff. No, Vampira Thumbs. We'll do that. Accept. File, open. File, open. Here in promos. Here it is, add basic Morse. I'm not going to add any of the shape Morse, but I want to add all my weird little adjustment Morse. That'll just take a couple of minutes. It might not work really well because of the snaky things, though. I'll add them anyhow. You don't have to use them. It's a free thing. It's as is. If you don't like the way one of the Morse works, fix it. Sorry. Oh, come on and open. Life is so slow. I have to decide what I want to work on after the bra and panties. Part of me wants to do the Letterman. Another one kind of wants to do sweats, and then there's the asymmetrical swim. And at some point I want to start. I actually kind of started this. I just blocked out really quick the basic pattern in Marvelous Designer. All right, there we go. Control L. All right, so I'm going to take this dress. We're just going to drop it in here. I'm going to fit it to one of these things. This one right here, body dress. And then when it does that, it'll automatically generate all the adjustment morphs. At least that's the plan. General Mish fit to G8 female body dress. There we go. Accept that. Did I bring in the wrong thing? I brought in the G9 dress. Cancel that. So I want to fit you to the G9 thing. The G9 body dress. There we go. Let's do that. All right, is good. Let's save these morphs out. I'm just gonna, as adjustments, I think that's good. What do we got over hiding in the morphs? Ah, you're fine. I'm just gonna save these adjustments here. So we'll accept that. We'll come back and clean this up in a minute. So I'm not going to keep that. Okay, let's navigate back over to Genesis 8. Let's load that into the scene. Okay, and this one gets fitted to the Genesis 8 body dress. So here, fit to Genesis 8 female body dress, accept that. Okay, then we're just going to come over here and save out those auto-generated morphs. I'll save that into the base product. What do I got down in here? Someday I should clean all of this stuff up. I'm just going to save, and what are you? And what do we got over here? Okay, we're gonna do a little bit of cleanup when we fix in a minute here. I'm going to accept that. I'm going to do a file new here. I'm not going to save what I'm working on at the moment. I don't want to save this file. That's just there to help me auto transform morphs, or auto create morphs and close. So that's a special purpose file. Yo, Napsmore, how are you doing? Oh, Daz is covering up part of chat. Stop that. Cleaning thing up equals not being able to find anything next time. But it actually does, because it puts them in the same place that I always put them in. And it makes it easier for you as the user to find it later on. And it looks prettier. We're going to make it look prettier. So here's the Genesis 8. I'm just going to get the Genesis 8 one in here, and we're going to just clean up those adjustment morphs we just put in there. So if we come into here, you can see there's all of this. Did you generate? Also, I have to clean out some Genesis 9 morphs from this. We're going to do that. And what do we got hanging over here? See, I don't need any of this stuff. I can get rid of that stuff. Anyhow, I'm going to rename these. We're going to reorganize. First things first, let's just select everything under actor. Let's go into edit mode. Let's switch you to limits, enable limits on selected properties. So everything will limit out to 100. I'm going to come down here. I'm going to set the property group for all of this to actor adjustments. Adjustment, we'll do that. Accept that. I'm going to make sure all of these dials have the same color. So we're going to set the presentation on those. And we're going to make those green and black. Accept that. Some of these were generated from Genesis 9 and they got garbage names. So this is just a little tedious name cleanup. So it's just easier to see. Then I'm going to pop in the data directory and get rid of some extraneous morphs from there. Basically, I created this as a Genesis 9 dress and then auto transferred it or auto fitted it over to Genesis 8 and then made the adjustments there for Genesis 8. So in that process, it picks up these adjustment morphs from Genesis 9, but it also picks up the garbage character morphs, which are just totally useless for Genesis 8. So those are the things I'm going to be going in and deleting out. Oops. Are we getting there? Slowly but surely. Short sleeve. I don't know if that does anything. We'll leave it in there. I usually have way too many adjustment morphs, but I always figure it's out good to have too many than none. Or not enough. Although it might get a little confusing. But at least I'm using good names. Adjust waist upper does what you think it's going to do. I've had some hair files where it just says like right 1, right 2, or left bang 01 left. Stuff like that. You have no idea what you're doing. Are we good? I think I'm good. All right, let's save those out. And I'm just going to do this, except that. Let's run over to the data folder. Also, I want to make sure I don't have any extraneous files in here or here, but those are looking good. So we're coming down to the morphs for the Genesis 8 version of the dress. And scrolling down. So that stuff, there's Genesis 9 characters that are just left over. Get rid of those. These are actually Genesis 9 adjustment morphs, but I'm going to leave those. These are corrective body shapes for Genesis 9. We can lose those, lose that. I am not quite sure if I should ever get rid of this, that. I think I can. And yeah, and these are all Genesis 9 characters. Just going to lose all of those. These are actually joint morphs for Genesis 8, so I think I'm going to leave those in. I'm not adding any extra shaping morphs, so you'll have to live with it that way. All right, that's good for that. All right, let's clean up the Genesis 9 version. And I think that's more or less good to go. We'll see. When Charles breaks it, we'll fix it. So same deal we did before. I'm just gonna pop in here and morphs. That's fine. I don't need that. Full body's probably good. Adjustment, but we will come. Yeah, we'll come into here, and we'll just limit everything under actor. So we'll just put the limits on for everything. And then I'm going to just put all of these adjustment morphs through here. I think I have some duplicates in here too. Oops, I went too far. I need to come to here. Let's set our presentation to green and black. Let's put all of these into just one simple adjustment property group. actor adjustment. We'll just do that. Okay, I have duplicate loosens in here and things. So what we're going to do is we're going to pop over. Well, we'll do this in a minute. I got to loosen ankles. I got to loosen buttocks. I got to loosen midriff. Loosen skirt above knee is there. Loosen below knee. Loosen skirt mini. Short. Waist lower. Waist upper. And wrists. You know what? This is probably. I'm not going to rename these. We're just. Because there's copies in here that already have those names. This, though, I'm going to rename that to be expand all. Okay, then I'm going to save that and we'll jump into the data directory and delete these out. So we'll save the modifier assets. Because this is my address, I'll save it as a base. I'm just going to do everything under actor. All right, let's pop back over here. So we're going to come over to the Morse for the Genesis 9 version. And I'm going to leave all these shaping morphs that it just auto-generated. I don't see the need to get rid of them, but I am going to get rid of these because if I scroll down, there should be a whole bunch of loosens that will duplicate that functionality. So we'll get rid of those. Expand all can stay there. So I don't think I've got another. Probably good. I don't need to save you. I think this is good. So I don't need, do I need documentation? I probably should, except I'm feeling lazy and don't feel like writing. But let me see what I've got in here. I haven't done anything like this in so long. Product description. You know what? Let's go find the README file for the Elvira outfit, and I'll update it with that. Actually, where is the Elvira? I'm looking for something called like Elvira Zip. Elvira Zip is located. There's a copy over in my Ko-fi folder. All right, we'll go over there. Ko-fi is on the D drive online. Best viewers. Hell yeah, I got the best viewers, baby. But you know what? You smell like a bot. And you know what we do with bots around here? I fumble around until I can find a delete button. Are you my delete button? Welcome to the I don't see my tools. Why do I not have my mod tools here? What the frick? Can I just ban you over here? Ban, there it is. I gotta do this though. Oh, there it is. Now there they are. They're back now. Boom. All gone. All right, I'm looking for an Elvira zip. That's right. There's one. Let's try that. Open that path. In here, do I have a README file in here? I should save a template. What a good idea. Let's put that README over here. Let's open you up. You know what? I'm just going to copy this and change it. And actually, let's close you for a second. Let's pop back over to Vampire Address G9, G8, email. Should be good. Did I do a template? Yeah, we got a template. All right, I don't have to do a template, so that's done. And I should just put you in your own folder, new folder. What was the vampire one called? Vampire Address. There we go. We're going to do that. Let's put that in there. Come in here. Let's open you up. Can I just do that? This is a basic D4 dress for Genesis 9 and Genesis 8. It's inspired by the outfit worn by, you know what? Melia. Did I get that right? I don't know. Myla Nurmi, aka Vampira. Vampira, is that right? There we go. Product requirements created for use in DAZ Studio 2.25 with iRay and the Genesis 9 or Genesis 8 figures not tested in earlier versions. Yada yada yada. Contains assets from probably all models measured to protected, whatever. Not for commercial use. Not that I'm enforcing any of this shit. This is a uninstall. You can find your folder in clothing, CC Cox. Here, let's come back to DAZ and check. So I think clothing, CC Cox, Vampire G8 female. And we'll Genesis 9 clothing, Vampire, maybe fewer J's and female. And then Vampire G9. I think that's going to work for the bare bones README file. Oh, let's change that to 25. And let's change the name. Vampire Address. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and say G9, G8. Let's spell out Genesis. All right. Let's hit save on that. So let's do a quick check and make sure everything kind of loads all right. And then we'll put the finishing touches on Morticia, including playing with maybe getting on Genesis 9. Although I'm not going to do a really good job on that. I don't want to spend that much time. Vampire. Let's rename the folder. This way DAZ can't find it anymore. So now when we come back over here, I think it's saying I can't find you anymore. Yep, there we go. I done broke it. I done broke it good. I'm going to stick it in one of my test folders. What did I stick in test 8? I'm going to, yeah, we're going to use test 8. I'm just going to zip all of this up. Let's delete those. And let's delete these. Let's pop over to the Vampire folder. Do I have you right there? And we're going to, I need that, and I need that, I need that, I need that, and I need that. All right, let's cut you. Let's pop over to the test folder. Let's paste you. Let's extract here. And we'll pop over here. We'll do a little refresh. There we go. Seems to work. I didn't get any error messages. At least that's the plan. Not a lot of choices on the material file there, but let's seems to be fine. I'm somewhat optimistic. If I run that, will it just fall through space properly? Yeah, it seems to be working okay. Cancel that. Let's just double check the Genesis 9. Okay, get rid of you. We'll do that. I'm going to actually, let's delete you. Let's get a Genesis 9 in here. We'll test the pose too. I'm going to test the pose as an H. Put the dress on. We're going to select the dress and apply the pose. That did not work because I didn't save you as a hierarchical. You know what? I'm not going to worry about it. It doesn't save it as an H pose. I wasn't being fancy. That works. I think I'm good. I think I can share that. All right, let's take a look at Morticia Addams and see what I want to do with that one. So I'm going to try to get this stuck in the Discord for free stuff. Yo, Liverick, in with the hard work. Lurk. Thanks, buddy. It's good to see you. All right, Morticia Addams. Where were we? I only done a Genesis 8 version of this. Let's let me see what I've got here. Do you have color? You do have color. You probably... All right, let's try... Let's do that. Let's actually... Stop. Let's load you onto a figure. So now we have to impatiently wait while a figure loads in. Oh, I'm out of coffee. All I got is me soda water. My flat soda water. Oh well. It still has that slight hint of strawberry, blueberry flavor to it. Good. If I put the pose on, you know what? That turned out okay, I think. That could probably be smoother. So if we deforce this, it's going to go in. So, I mean, if you're... And then it'll probably get all bunchy in here, right? And it's getting weird because this is all falling through the ground. So the recommendation is to put the pose on first and then run the D-force. So what you kind of want to do with this one, I don't know if I'm going to make instructions or not. So you kind of want to apply this leg pose, memorize her in that position, and then run this sim. That might be a little complicated, but that's okay. I'm only going to share it in my. And are these working? Yeah, I think my roughness just looks weird in here, doesn't it? Boy, I got all sorts of cool things in here. There's a sequin version in here. Are those shaders? Those are shaders. Those are materials. Okay. Let's clear that. Let's see if we can just quickly get this put on Genesis 9. So if I take you and do that, we'll just do a Genesis 8. And you're going to be a dress. Yeah, I'm going to say long loose because of all the loose parts it has on it. Let's do a couple of things here. I probably should pop it in the ZBrush and smooth it out a bit. And then we'll do the base shape. So let's do that. Let's take this and that. Let's do this. Open ZBrush. So we're using the old Go Z. Actually, what I want to do is maybe can I? No, I think that's just not from. That's just deformed from the thing, from the conversion. Let's do the edit. Let's frame. Let's tweak the intensity down. Let's tweak the smoothing intensity down. Let's make this a little smaller. Maybe a little larger. I need to tweak the edge smoothing a little bit. I'm not going to get it perfect. Like I said, this is just going to be a craptastic conversion. Maybe I'll tweak up the strength on the smooth. Smooth those out. Then I'm going to put the legs together and we'll do the smooth again. And I'm going to make that as a... That needs to just come out a little bit, doesn't it? Or Trisha just could have been a little smoother. I wish I had a Go Blend. I like the smoothing in Blender a lot better than the smoothing in ZBrush. So that kind of smooths those out a little bit. Yep. Smooth that out. Smooth that out some more. I should have used some mirroring. That is kind of nasty. Here, let's do that. I'll do that. That way I can smooth both sides at once. That's kind of gnarly. Okay, I think I got a little... If I smooth you, will you... Does that fix that poke through? Kind of does. I can tweak that. Maybe smooth that down a little bit. I think that's good enough for this base shape. Am I poking out through the back in here? Maybe I'll just smooth you out a little. That's a little too much. All right, we're going to go Z. Oh, I should have moved. I can't see chat anymore. I'm going to update the base geometry with what we just did. So that becomes the new base shape.
Chris, pay attention.
Yo, Refit, welcome back. I am not rich. I bought ZBrush in 2004 and got free upgrades until 2022. So that's why we have ZBrush. We'll put ZBrush back there. And I really didn't use it until a few years ago when I realized how handy it was for just cleaning up morphs in DAZ. The Go Z is really handy. Yeah, if I had a real easy way, and I gotta look into this again. If there was like a nice Go Blender. So Go Z's handy. I hit a button, it goes over into ZBrush. I touch it up, I hit a button, and it comes back. Yes, Blender is what I was using until I realized, you know what? I've got Go Z. What the hell? It's a little easier than exporting your OBJs and having to import your OBJs each time. Which is what I actually would do if I didn't have ZBrush. Or if ZBrush breaks and stops working, which I can see happening in the future. And then I'll be back in Blender. And then I'll be seeing if somebody's made a nice bridge to go from DAZ to Blender and back again. I think somebody made a bridge to go from Blender to DAZ. And there is a DAZ to Blender, but I don't know if there's a good morph path, if that makes sense. Dimorphic, yeah, but does that allow you to just... So does that go... So say I'm working with this. Would the dimorphic just dump this into Blender, let me touch it up, and then easily dump it back? That's the thing I love about this. I'm going to pose these legs, and then we're going to touch it up again in ZBrush. I'm going to hide the dress here because I want to also... Actually, let's do first things first. Let's make the base female shape. Let's get that in here. I'm in the wrong folder. Let's go to parameters. Boom. And let's go to favorites. I have this listed as favorite. I'm going to dial that in. And I'm going to make adjustments to get that to look better. So I need this name right here. So I need this. So here's the real reason why. So this is the morph I'm going to update, this base feminine shape. So I'm copying that name. I'll cancel that. Then we just hit the Go Z button. We're back in ZBrush. And then I can just pop in here and make my... I'm not doing a great job on this. I don't care. This is going to be a freebie. That's probably fun. I saw some poke through. See right in there. We're going to pull those out. I'm going to smooth out a little under the chest. We'll take a look down here, see if I've got any other spots that need fixing. I think, let's take a look around the top. So I think that's the adjustments I want to do for the feminine shape. So actually, and you can't see what's going on. Dang it. Let me do this. Sorry, I forgot ZBrush was full screen there. Can I move you? There we go. There's Mr. ZBrush. Okay, I've made my touch-up morphs. I'm just going to hit the little Go Z button. Comes back into here. I'm going to paste that morph name right here. We're going to overwrite the existing one because it auto-created one. And then we're going to accept that. And now the morph is adjusted a little bit based on what I just did. So that's the strength of Go Z. It's just the ability to just, it's almost like working with the morphs and DAZ. It makes it really easy. Anyhow, I want to make a morph that works with the legs. Put in just a little bit. So we're going to adjust those. I'm going to do one more morph. Let's do the left leg. Actually, I got to see what we're doing. I got to hide the dress. I think we're going to move you like about -6. It might be -5. Let's do side to side. Let's start with -5. And let's put you at 5. So I want that to be the leg pose. So I'm going to come over here. I need to make a Genesis 9. Create a subfolder, Genesis 9. Okay, then in here I need a clothing folder. Create subfolder, clothing. Did you get created? Nope. You seem to be ignoring me. Let's try this again. Create subfolder, clothing, accept. I'm not seeing it. Do I have to refresh you? We want to browse the folder location. It's there. Daz just isn't showing it. Anyhow, let's put the vanity folder in here. I'm just going to come over here and borrow this folder and bring it over here. Just paste that right there. And you know what? I'm going to rename you. Now I'm trying 2 versions. G8 female. And we're going to rename you G9. Yes, models are in bad need of hands and feet. Good morphs. Yeah, they probably could use good morphs on those. Am I good? Am I good? Yep, I'm going to rename those over there. I'm just going to overwrite them. So anyhow, boom, boom, boom. Come on, refresh. All right, let's rename you. I'm going to overwrite that with the version I have in here when we get done. And I'm going to actually, I probably should name the other one too. This just says leg pose G9, we'll do that. Now I'm just going to save this leg pose over that. I'm not even going to bother to change that thumbnail. They're going to be that lazy. All right, let's save you as a pose preset. Actually, let's do you as a hierarchical pose preset. Do I have the dress still on here? I do. I should rename the dress, though. I should save the dress, then I'm going to save out the... Okay, I can bring the dress back. All right, we're going to go into ZBrush and add one more cleanup work for this. Yeah. Well, I mean, merchants have access to the high definition more, but normal people don't. Am I doing select that in that? And I'm going to make a morph called legs together. And I think that'll be maybe the default morph, so that when you pose it, it'll automatically look good. And when you're working with this dress, you kind of want to memorize it in this pose and go from here. Because let's face it, that's the way Morticia Addams basically... She probably could not walk in that dress. What is her name? Carolyn something? Anyhow, let me clean this up. Here we go. Activate the ZBrush again. And the rest of this is probably fine. I just need to... we're just going to go viciously smooth that stuff out. I'm going to make my brush a little larger. And I'm going to up the smoothing intensity a bit. When it closes up, I think I'm getting faces overlapping, so we want to kind of fix that out. Over here, it's really apparent. So I got to make sure that I go all the way up to the crotch and fix that. This isn't my best work, but I'm not going to spend much more time on it. I would, if I did this dress today, I would have done a much better version. At least that's what I tell myself. Go see. There we go. Legs together. And where do I want you? I think I want to stick you in, I don't have an adjustment category. Do I even have an actor? I do have an actor. I do have an adjustment. I'm going to stick it right there, an adjustment. I don't have an existing morph, so I don't need to do that this time. So I'm going to accept that. And I'm going to, I think I'm ready to save this. I'm going to save, so if we reset you back to that, if I come back into here, I am looking for, I'm not in the dress. We're going to come over to the dress. Actor and adjustment. And you know what? I think I'm going to just turn that to 100. And how did that look? You know, that looked fine. So I think I'm going to set that as the default. Also, while I'm here, I'll recolor everything. We're going to add those adjustment morphs that I put on the vampire dress as well. So I'm going to do that later. But there it is, the default. I'm going to set that default to 100. And accept that. Okay, now we're going to do a couple more tweaks and we're going to save this out as the Genesis 9. Actually, let me run a D-Force test. Let me get my ground plane back in here. Let's activate D-Force and see how that goes. I may have some weird settings in here. Let's take a look at what we got going on. Am I using a contraction on here? Is that what's going on? I am. You know what? I think I'll try 100 for now. And this is old, so I probably didn't even change the bend stiffness of this. Wait, one. I'll have to remember to reset these. Do I want to change the dynamic strength? I don't think so. All right, let's try this. I'm not super happy with that. This dress got really bunchy through here. But I don't think I'm going to spend much more effort on this, honestly. Well, I mean, other than kind of finishing up a little bit. I'm going to cancel that because I'm impatient. So if we do this, so if I memorize this in the female shape and the legs together, it might look a little better. Also, I might try it with the contraction back on. Back over to here. Let's pose the legs. Did I select the right thing? I did not. I still didn't select the right thing. Oh, it's because I have the leg pose left over from... I didn't save this yet. Hold on. I got to save the dress. That's right. We're saving the dress. Let's clear that simulation. Let's select our dress. Are you looking black? Why do you look white? I think I tested this and I think it was black. Yeah, it is black. Okay, never mind. Preview just isn't good. All right, let's save you as a figure prop asset. Boink. Let's save you over here somewhere. Creepy season. Morticia. People. Genesis 9. Clothing. That one. That one. I'm going to overwrite that because that's actually the Genesis 8 version. Oh, actually, before I do this, let me make a tweak to the scene IDs. I'm going to edit the scene ID for that. And in here, I've got the wrong thing selected. So that would have been a terrible save anyhow. Let's try this again. Scene ID. Right here. I'm going to change the name of that to G9. I'm going to accept that. All right, now we'll just do a save. And I got the dress selected this time, so this will go a little bit better. So I'm going to override that. Yep. All right, in here is Morticia. Morticia dress is an option. Cool. Morticia dress G9 looks good. Is fine. Is fine. Accept that. All right, let's do the select method of adding the, I think we're good. I think I'm just going to go ahead and open up that basic morphs. We're going to throw those adjustment morphs I threw on the vampire dress onto this one real quick. I'm going to say no to that, and then we'll impatiently wait while this file opens up. That is empty. That's right, I'm drinking water now. I might put the contraction back on this. I'm not sure yet. It looked a little weird. And I think I'm getting close to being done with these. And when we get done with that, I think maybe I'll start some shoes. The penny loafers for the Letterman outfit. All right, there we go. So we're going to load that in. There is a body dress in here with a bunch of adjustment morphs. So we're going to take this, fit it to that. That will automatically generate a bunch of adjustment morphs, and then I'm going to save those out. So come to parameters. We're going to pop over to, I'm going to change the color on that a little bit. Let's pop over to general mesh, fit to, this is the Genesis 9 one, so I'm looking for this Genesis 9 body dress. Accept that. There we go. Some of those morphs obviously need some love. I don't know. Maybe I won't share this dress. It would take two. You know, I'm gonna call it a piece of poop and share it anyhow. Every time I put morphs on there, it breaks stuff. So I mean, I really should be making new morphs, but this isn't going to be a for sale product, so I don't care. I think this is good. I think I'm just going to do the actors. What is in that ZBrush folder there? What are you doing over there? Why were you not saved in your proper spot? I overwrote you. You shouldn't be over there. I'm going to take a look in full body here. It's in base. It's in base. Yeah, you're not in there. Why are you over there? Oh, because I saved the control? I would accept that. All right, let's get rid of you. Let me just do a slack-tastic job. What did I delete? I did delete just the dress. Okay. Let's do this for the G8F version. Load you into the scene. We're going to conform you to the G8 dress in here. That one right there. Accept that. Then I'm just going to just save all of those. I think I just want all of these. What's in this morph? I don't think I need any of those. I could be wrong. I'm not sure what you are. Well, you're probably already in there anyhow. All right, I'm not going to save this file, so I'm going to do a file new. Clean these up. I am in edit mode, never mind. Take all of those and we'll set those to enable limits. Gonna slow back in here. Let's take all of this. And let's change the color of those. Well, let's set the property group to actor adjustment. And then I'm going to change the color of these. We'll set the presentation. I like to use this green and black for adjustments. It's similar to what Daz uses, but my green's a little different. I think that's kind of works. It moves the sleeves too. There's ways to remove that. I could probably remove those, mark everything as a favorite, and remove those. I think that's going to be fine. Let's just, what is in here? Why are you set to 100? What are you? Oh, you're apparently an old shape fix, so I'm not going to touch that. This is what happens when you open up Address 2 years later. It's not quite the way I would do things anymore. I'm just going to export those morphs out with their new colors. All right, let me clean up the G9 version. Let's come into actor and we'll just make sure everything here is set to, we'll put the limits on those. I'm going to set all of this stuff to adjustment. I think I've got these extras in here, so we'll delete those out from the data folder. We'll set the color on all of this. Okay. Now, did I actually put everything into adjustment? Yeah, it looks like I did. All right, I'm going to save these, then we're going to pop into the data folder and get rid of these duplicate morphs. I'm just going to save all of that. So while that's saving, let's hunt over to, there we go, data, me, Morticia address. That's the Genesis 8. Don't think, actually, yeah, because this is so old that I did things differently back then. So this doesn't have any, shouldn't have any Genesis 9 stuff to clean out. And then in here, are we done saving over here? We are in here. I'm going to remove these loose and morphs. Oh, I think I might need to rename expand all though. So let's get rid of those. Yeah, I do have to rename that. So here, we'll close this. We'll reload it. We'll take a look at the parameters. Okay, I've gotten rid of, except this one here still has the garbage name, but I did want to keep that. So we're going to rename you, expand all, and get rid of that garbage off the front. Should be good. save those again. Actually, I'll just save the... I really only need to save that one morph that I changed, the expand all. Should be good. I think I'm in good shape with this. It has an okay Genesis 8, a pretty crappy Genesis 9 version in here. So we'll update the I'm going to copy these over to the Genesis 9. And I'm going to rename this and that. We'll sneak over to here. And we'll dump copies of the... Oh, are you good? I already copied you over here. Never mind. I think we're all good. Do I have to redo the tip file? I'm going to just lose that tip file. That's fine. Okay. I think this is usable. Let's do the do that. Where's my edit pad pro? There we go. File, save as. Totally not where I wanted to be. So we'll change you to say Morticia. And then we'll come here and we'll tweak the language for the Morticia address. Inspired outfit by... It is inspired by the outfit worn by Morticia in the 1960s TV show Addams, The Addams Family. Uh, 2.5. Good, probably fine. The Genesis 9 version is a sloppy conversion from the Genesis 8 email version and may look like crap when used. There we go. I'm going to save that. Did I put crap into a README file? I guess I did. Anyhow, let's just grab those and zip it up. And we'll just double check and make sure Everything should be okay. So we're going to rename this like that. I'm going to copy that, and we'll just run over to that. Do I still have that open somewhere? And we'll run over the test 8, and I'm going to delete all of this Vampira stuff. That seemed to be working okay. And we'll paste this in here. And we'll just do a quick double check and see if it works out okay. Extract here. All right, if I refresh this, we should not see anything anymore because we added a little extra character in here, and now Daz doesn't know where to find any of this stuff. All right, let's run back over to test 8. Let's refresh test 8, and let's see what we got in here. Seems to be fine. Oh, I didn't save the leg pose properly. Damn it. I don't know, do you do your things? You seem to do your things okay. If we select surfaces, you kind of do your thing. You're kind of doing your thing. Okay. So I'm going to re-zip up what's here. Because that's not a proper Genesis 9 leg pose, if I remember correctly. Right, nothing happened. So we're just going to resave side to side. I think it was -5, and 5 should do the trick, is what we were working with. And then I'm just going to save you as a pose preset. I'm going to overwrite that one there. Yep, we're going to do that. I'm going to uncheck everything. And then we'll just pose from the legs down. And we'll just save that as a partial pose. All right, I'm going to call that good. We'll re-zip that. And now I'm going to start working on shoes. Let's do that. Let's rename you. All right, I think this is good. And I just called that Vampira. That's the Morticia dress. Stimpy, you fool. Let's flesh this name out. Did you, I did something wrong there. G9, G8, female. All right, those are probably good to go. All right, moving along. I want classic penny loafers. Let me try 1950s. Open image. Can I open you in? I'm not seeing an open image option here. Somebody's clever. What am I in? Am I using Chrome? I think I am. Applications. There's his application. That's what I'm looking for right there. That's kind of what I want. Kind of a classic look like that. So let's start with Blender here. And you know what? I don't need this ZBrush in the background anymore. Close you down. We'll put you off to the side. You, I could probably just close up for now. You, I can close up. Put that away. That can go away. That can probably go away. Yeah, I really didn't really need you, so I'll put you away. We'll bring this over into here. And I think we'll start over here. Do I have a Letterman? I don't. I'm gonna make I'm gonna start the Letterman project in here. I should probably clean these out too. All right, we're gonna do a little detour. Chris cleans up his content directories. Bodysuits, those I want. Flip-flops, trunks, slipper simple. What I got in there? Did I ever do anything with that? Oh, that's really basic, isn't it? Nightclub I want to keep. Hotel, Bubble Palace someday will get finished. Mayswell Gallery, maid outfit. I think I can leave that. Turtleneck sweater. I think that was supposed to be for a Velma. At some point in the future. I don't know. I would probably redo that now. So you know what? I think I'm going to disconnect that. So let's come into here. And I'll do that from here. Let's go over to the Content Directory Manager. And we're going to look at our DAS. And I'm going to come through here and find things like that turtleneck sweater. I'm going to remove that. Glass is probably good. I do want to keep... What are you? I don't even remember what that is. Lingerie stocking 24. I think we can remove that. Sweat shorts. I'm probably going to redo those. Remove that. I think I'm going to remove that t-shirt. Workout outfit. I think we'll leave that. Button fly bottoms. I don't think I need that. I'm going to make a 70s disco outfit, but I think I'm just going to do that from scratch. My moon is probably good. G9 tux. Charles got the G9 tux. I think I can remove that. HDR night skies. I think I might want to leave that connected. I think it's in a category. We'll double check. CC Basic. I am currently working on that one, and I'm going to need this one. Martian Blades. Some point I'm going to get back to that. Crap Knife. I can probably not use Crap Knife. 50s dress. I can probably remove that. Remove that. Remove that. Vampirella earrings. We'll move that. I think we can get rid of those. And the cropped tee. And the Beachcomber swim. I don't even remember what that is. CC Basic 04 is done and in the store. 03 is done and in the store. Rococo Decadence. Someday I'll get back to that. Aragorn. We finished that for Charles. Ghost G9. I should take a look at that. Weekini G9. I think I did that. Swords, believe. Dress 01. I have no idea. Reporter suit. Is reporter suit done? Is that the reporter suit I just finished? I think it might be. I think I can close that, but I'm not sure. Let me take a look at some of this stuff down here. So we're down to seasonal ghost. Let's accept all of those changes for right now. And I keep looking at my copy like there's something in there. Okay, did you update yet? You did, but you did a shitty job of it. Let's try this again. Let's see if I accept it and if this will sort itself out. There we go. I'm in the poser formats. I don't want poser formats. So, toe caps. You know what? I probably don't need toe caps anymore. Dancer 02. What were you supposed to be? Oh, that's a French bottom dancer set that I never did anything with, right? Probably Snake Den. Snake Den's done. I can close that. Pinup Studio. I do want to keep. Where was that ghost? Ghost G9. Are you just like a sheet? Do I have anything in here? I don't have anything in there. I think I can close that. CS swords. That's that sword I made for Charles. Or we adjusted for Charles. We can close that. What's in dress 01? Yeah, I think I don't really need dress 01 anymore. So I think we could get a ghost, sword, dress, reporter suit. That I don't need. Plaid skirt outfit. I think I'm going to lose that. Oh, that's got those 80 mules I never did anything with. I think I'm going to leave that. Toe caps. I think I'm going to leave toe caps. Your ultimate goal is to create characters that you can sell on. Well, good luck with that. Yeah, I got a buddy who does that. Our friend 3D Loki makes characters. And angst about selling them on Daz. Genesis 9 is tricky to make characters for. There's just so many little ins and outs. Studying sculpting at the moment. That's the easy part. I'm not going to lie to you. Getting the shapes and the textures to look good is the easy part. Making it work for Genesis 9 in Daz Studio is the part that will cause you to lose your hair. There's just so many things that nobody tells you about. But if you coming along, I don't know if you're on Discord. There is a Discord server I'll recommend. I'm going to put that over there. The Daz 3D Slackers has a few people over there who actually know what they're doing. So if you're on the Daz 3D Slackers, there's a couple of people there that really know their stuff, who you might. Sometimes they can be a little bit of a butt when they're replying to you. But they have a please help me section in there. You're on Discord? Okay, so it's Daz 3D Slackers. I don't know, you should just be able to type Daz 3D Slackers and do you have to be invited? Can I invite people? What's your I'm Chris Cox on Discord somewhere. Feel free to try to reach out to me. I can invite you to my Discord, and then I can message you the Slacker Discord, and if you want to join that one, and I recommend if you're getting into content creation that you do that. You're in that server already. Okay, so there's people in there who can help you with the the really nitty gritty for getting characters done. Oh, my Discord. Yeah, let me invite to my Discord. I'll throw that link in here. Which one is mine? I don't do a lot on my Discord, but I do post when I'm streaming. Also, we have a Saturday night social tonight at 8 p.m. There's a Discord chat, a gallery, share, and an old cartoon. How do I do this again? There's the invite. Invite people. Copy link. Come over here. Control V. There you go. Also, these dresses, I'm probably just going to throw them up as freebies. The Mortician, the Vampire dress. I have a freebie section which has been neglected, but I'll throw those in there in a couple of days, if not today. But don't come at me for that Genesis 9 Morticia dress. I didn't. I that was just a slack refitting from Genesis 8. I'm not happy with my Genesis 8 to tell you the truth, but I'll make those available anyhow. What am I doing here? I'm still cleaning this stuff up. Dancer. I want to keep Dancer. I'm going to lose that. I'm keeping my pinup studio because someday I might actually finish that. Ha! Task Merchant Resources. Okay, Carnival Devil, I'm done with. Starlight Angel, I'm done with. Here, let's do this. I'm in. Thanks a lot. There's the welcome. Yo, Rafed. Yo, Rafed. Good to see you. And I see Farrell's already waving at you. All right, let me finish cleaning this up. We're going to go back into our content directory manager here. Back into DAZ Studio formats. And we're going to come over here. Okay, Rococo Denison. I'm going to lose this ghost outfit because it seems to have nothing in there. I think that was a thought. CS Swords is done and given to Charles. Dress 1 is an old dress. If I were to even use that dress, I would probably be better off restarting from scratch. Reporter suit. Looks like something that never happened. So we'll remove that. Plaid skirt outfit. I'm going to leave that in there. I should add that to my... Here, let's add that to the project ideas. 80s outfit with mules. That'll help remind me what this is. I was thinking kind of an 80s punk outfit for that thing, but I don't know. We'll see. I may never get back to that. Anyhow, I'm going to leave that there. This Dancer one, I did want to remove that. Toe caps, I think I'm moving. Dancer 2, I think we're moving that. Snake Den is done. Pinup Studio, I do use occasionally, but not as much as I used to. Merchant Resources, that's DAZ specific stuff. Carnival Devil is actually in the DAZ store now, so we're going to remove that. Starlight Angel has been submitted, so I think I'm going to remove that. Car Hop has been submitted. I'm going to remove that. And there's a kimono in here. I think I removed that as well. Underwear I'm currently working on. Coveralls and play suits have been submitted. So we're going to remove that. So I'm going to just leave these. So how many do I have left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 43, 44. I'm only down to 44 content directories. Wow. That's downright clean. Okay. That I'm going to get rid of. Actually, that's probably in there somewhere. So what was I doing? I'm adding a directory for the Letterman, 1950s Letterman outfit. So let's do that. Let's take a look at where we are with that. Projects. It's probably in my 50s folder. Letterman. I have nothing in here but that. Okay. Let's go get my template files. Let's grab those. You know, I don't even have a whip folder in here. So we'll paste that in there. I'm going to move you to the whip. Is there anything in this whip? Nope. Template. New folder. Me. New folder. 50s. Letterman. Okay, runtime. Textures. Vanity. Generic. And then we'll also put a new folder. 50s. So the textures will go inside here. Let me just make sure I'm using the right generic textures. Oh yeah, these are the 4K textures. Okay, those stay. People, Genesis 8, clothing, me, the outfit. This outfit is 50s Letterman. I may not make a Genesis 8 version of this, so we may delete this off. I'll rename it anyhow. Because it's a male outfit, and I don't do Genesis 8 male outfits. I'm just not geared up for it. It would take too much time, and those sales are always... I don't think I gain enough from the sales to merit the time spent making it. So right here, I'm going to rename you... It makes Rex cry. So, that the males aren't supported. I'm doing a Genesis 9 male outfit. He should be happy. 50s Letterman. Besides, I think Rex is using Genesis 9 mostly anyhow. Rex Red. I think it's Rex Red. Rex Reed. He streams over on YouTube occasionally. So I think that's ready to go. So now we'll just hook this up with Daz. So back into here. Content Directory Manager. Daz Studio formats. And we're going to add that Letterman folder right there. And that should be good. And accept that, and then we should get our new folder down in here. There it is. And we got all that stuff we just set up is all ready to go now. So I'm going to start with a Genesis 9. I'm going to pose the feet just a little bit, I think. There's a little bit of heels on these. So I think maybe we'll just do a little bit of a 5% and then bring the toes back up 5. Oh yeah, I loaded you in when I was checking stuff. Let's see, did I suck the foot? There's the foot. If I bend you 5, I think that'll do. And then we'll just take the toe and put it back up 5 or -5. And that's going to be the basic shoe pose that I'm going to model to. Let's mirror you to the other side, left to right. Looks good. Did you do anything? I didn't see you do anything. Let's try that again. It said selected. Let's do root. There we go. There, I saw that. Let's save this as a pose. Genesis 9, clothing, me, 50s Letterman. We'll just put that right here. Pose preset. And 50L is going to be the code for 50's Letterman. And this will be letter, I'd say penny loafers. And pose, and I'll say G9 just to be sure in case I change my mind about a G8 female version. We're just going to save the feet. Should be good. I'm going to export this out as the shape that we'll model against in Blender. So there's my export button that I put onto the side of my toolbars. We are looking for, this is in projects. Always with the navigating, I know. Letterman, and let's put you into the whip, and we're going to call you G9 feet pose. Okay, you know what? I'm just going to do these shoes completely from scratch today, which means I'm just going to start with a plane and go from there. I'm going to try to get a plane that's going to work for the foot, and then we're going to, if I've got time, get it over to Marvelous Designer and start building the pattern out around the foot, and then we bring it back to Blender and tweak it some more, finish it off. Where's my blender? There's my blender. There we go. So we're going to import you. And the Letterman and the whip, and take that. I'm going to zoom in. We're just going to delete everything above the knees off. This is not the way you export for a morph target, because that was exported at high res. I'll just delete those, and it leaves me the footsies. Am I in edit mode? I'm going to get out of edit mode. Let's add a mesh, and I'll just start with a plane, and we'll tab in, and we'll scale that down. So that's roughly the size of a foot. And then I'm going to move and rotate it so that the origin, the local origin, will be over here and aligned with the foot. So we'll kind of get that like so. Am I still in? I'm in object mode. Now I'll go into edit mode. Now if I switch over to local, this should be oriented in the direction of the foot, which is what I was doing. All right, let's add some subdivisions. Usually that works out for fitting to a foot fairly well. And then we'll just make some additions here. Stop that. Let's grab you and you. And I'm going to want to bring those down like so. I probably want to adjust you a little bit too. And we'll kind of position these about where I'm going to put the heel. It's going to start in there. Put that there. Let's drag you guys forward. And now we'll just kind of fit the foot. That'll come in a little bit like that. I think that'll be good. How are you looking? All right, we're going to put a sub D on here and then tweak that a little bit further. Add a subdivision modifier. That's in generate. You think after all these years I remember where this stuff was? Okay, we're going to tweak the shape a little bit. I'm going to turn you off. And you know what? I think we'll pull these out. Maybe like that. Put this down just a little bit. Bring you down. Probably like that. I want the back of that heel back further though. I think, yeah, maybe a little rounder. Is that going to work? I think that'll work. Let's click that up one level. So I'm going to take that into Marvelous Designer and turn it into a garment. And then see if I can use Marvelous Designer to kind of use a shoe pattern, penny loafer pattern. Did I have penny loafer patterns in here somewhere? There they are. Am I in images? I am in images. I'm going to take a look at this. I want to slide this over to the screen too for a second though. I can make shoes. Woman's penny loafer pattern. You know what I only need download PDF. I just need a basic outline of what I'm looking at here. I have kind of an idea. I kind of see it. All right. Yeah, let's export this out. Boop. Let's go to there. A loafer sole. We're just going to only export what I have selected. Do that. All right, let's open up Marvelous Designer and see if I can get this to work. Anyhow, this is the basic pattern. It's kind of a horseshoe. And then we have this little part here that goes here. And then we have the little strap that goes across that we're going to put a penny in. And I am going to put a penny in. So that will be included. Oh, hello, Marvelous Designer. Welcome in. Let's go get that sole file. Import add. First, let's get the foots in here. OBJ. I only actually need one of them, but so let's do that. Let's actually I'm going to delete that, and then we're just going to export this as well. But I'm going to bring that back because I might need both of them later on. just to make sure something funky didn't happen when I start mirroring things. Okay, where are we? Yep. Projects. 1950s. Letterman in the whip folder. And I'm just bringing in the foot right now. We're going to use that as an avatar. It should load right in. There we go. And now we're going to load in that pattern piece as a garment. Import add OBJ as garment. And I'm going to bring you in. Oh, you know what I need? I didn't UV map it. We got to UV map it first, or this won't work. Is good enough. Actually, you know what? I'm going to apply. Can I, let's dupe that. I'm in edit mode. Let's get out of edit mode. Then we can dupe that, and then I can apply the modifier. And then this I'm going to UV map. That's better. And then we're going to export that out. I think I want to start, before we do that, I'm going to straighten, it's pretty straight, but I'm going to G-stretch through here just to make sure that that's nice and straight. And I'm going to pull the heel out of that. Or do I want the heel back here? I don't want the heel back here. So I'm going to G-stretch that so it makes a nice straight line. Yep, and then we're just going to, I got the wrong one. That didn't work. Why, you know, what are you being weird? What do I have? Did I do a dupe in here or something stupid like that? Nope. Maybe I did. What's going on here? I somehow duped. I must have fat fingered a duplication or something. All right, we're going to back up a little bit. You know what? I'm just going to get rid of you. I screwed something up somewhere. I'm going to close you. Then we're going to accept that. Then we're going to tab in here. And I think, did I want to straighten up through here for the heel? Yeah, I want to G-stretching through there. Oh, you're totally... I somehow duped inside the other one. So we'll just merge everything out. And I'll do that G-stretch I wanted to do. Just to make that nice and straight. Yeah, that was fine. All right, there we go. Now I'm ready to export you out. Although part of me wants to straighten you up too. Is good. Probably fine. Back to layout. All right, now we'll do the export again now that we've got it UV mapped. You are the penny loafer soul. And then we pop back over. Now we're ready to bring you into ZBrush. And I want to trace 2D pattern from UV map. So right now, if I simulate this, it's going to be weird because it's underground. So what I want to do is I want to get this so that it doesn't, we want to adjust the ground level for simulation. I think, are you in simulation properties, by the way? Is that where you were? Ground. Ground's on. Let's set that collision height down a little bit. Maybe minus 15. Nope. Let's try minus 30. Still, why are you not? What if we just turn you off? All right, that's fine. But why are you not acting the way minus 100? Do I have to, is it actually the other way around? 100? Nope. Ground collision height stopped working. What the hell? Minus 1 million. Let's try. Let me try that. Are my normals flipped? I can fix those. You just are being a butt. What the hell? I'm just going to have to turn the ground collision off. That's all. Okay, I don't want this simulating anyhow. Because I'm just going to freeze that. And then we're just going to make our pattern to match that. And I'm going to see if I can maybe convert you all. I'm going to put a split point right here in the very back. I'm going to put a split point there. What I want is I want a split point right there, the very front. And then can I just convert you all to curves? And that kind of works. Do I have, you know what, I'm going to get rid of you. And we're going to lose you. And I can probably live without you. And those are, and this is way too many little points down here. We're going to clean you guys up. Or maybe not. Maybe we'll just do it like this. Yeah, I don't, well, I'm not really gonna, I'm just using this as an anchor point for the pattern, and then we send it back to the Blender. Okay, so now we're going to make that horseshoe shape so that it'll fit around here. And actually, are you guys aren't even though, are you? 271, 261. Yeah, it's probably going to be fine. We'll tweak this out. I think I'm going to just roughly draw my, and it flares just a little bit out. So I'm going to start with a polygon. I think I'm going to do half and half. And then we're just going to adjust one side to be a little bit shorter to sew on to this. take a look at what. I'm going to unfold. Can I unfold you? That's a function I don't use a whole lot. Unfold the symmetric editing. There, we're going to do that. And I'm going to bring you guys back a little bit. Nope. Because when I clicked on the point, I apparently selected the line. So we're just going to do that. Can I just convert you to a curve point? And then can we convert you guys to curve points? Does that work? Cancel that. That's not what I wanted. I think I lost my symmetry. I did lose my symmetry. I'm going to re-chop this up in a minute to get my symmetry back. Let's convert you to a curve point. Actually, I'm not going to do that. Let's chop this in half. We'll do a cut. I'm going to lose you. And then we'll just work on getting this into shape. Now I'm going to convert you to a curve point. And then we're just going to rework this a little. I'm going to push that in until that gets close to 90. Bring you over here. Is that I'm kind of in the ballpark. All right, let's do some measuring. First I got to make sure I'm working on the right side. So this will get sewn to this. I should turn these around so they orient a little bit. All right, this is the inside. That needs to be whatever this length is here. 261.6. So I'm going to change length on that to 261.6. And then this is going to come in just a little bit. We'll put a little bit of a curve on that. Oh, that went the wrong way. Damn it. I wasn't paying attention. Change length. Change length on that. 261.6. But I want to go to the other way like that. And now I'm going to try to do that bend. And then we'll lengthen that out to match that. And you are probably, yeah, I probably need to tweak this down further. We'll try that to begin with. Let's try you. I'm going to not close up the back quite right while I tweak this shape. So anyhow, that is going to get sewn onto there. I'm going to sew that to there. Let's kind of position you over the foot. And then see if I can, or if I'm going to try just to do this all in Blender. That kind of works. This side's getting stretched. I already know that. Also, we're getting stuck in the toes a little bit. That's to be expected. If I do this, it helps. And I would probably smooth it out. Also, maybe we work with 5 on this one. Maybe not. That seems to make things even worse. Let me tweak some stuff here. Leather full grain. I think I will switch you back to 10. Not. You know, part of it is probably because it's underground. I turned the ground off. That's right. Never mind. I'm just going to double check, make sure. Do I have to use... I'm going to try accurate here. Ooh, accurate works nicely. I like that. All right. I'm going to tweak this shape. Also, I'm going to adjust this length, and I'll fix it later. So I think I'm going to unsew that, and then I'm just going to sew it up like this. So there's a little bit of a gap in the back. Eventually we will sew those together. All right, let's take a look at our reference again. Somewhere in here is a picture of a penny loafer. And you know what? I'm actually kind of in the ballpark there. No, I want to get this closer. Maybe make this a little wider. And then I'm going to design the tongue to go in here. Maybe pull you back a little bit. I don't know. That might be okay. I'm going to copy this just in case. And then I'm just going to hide it. We'll deactivate that. I'll just hide it. I have no idea where you were probably over there somewhere, weren't you? All right, let me see about making the little tongue piece that's going to go in here. Did I not touch my pattern? There it is. My tongue is going to go through here. Let me do polygon tool. Move these out. Just that. And I'm going to sew you in. I think I got symmetrical sewing on there. Let's kind of put you in place and kind of tweak that. That's not a bad start. Definitely need some major cleanup in Blender though. Do I want you to be a little bit wider? Not really. I do need a little more tongue on there. I think I'm going to pull that back a little bit. Add a little bit of curve into here. I think I do want you a little further forward. So maybe what I'll do is I'll just grab all of these. I'm getting there. Okay, let's try that again. I like that. I'm going to try to put a harder crease on these. So, let's see if I say 90, I can never remember which way I wanted. I think that did the trick actually. If I say 45, is that going to give me a little bit of a, yeah, that actually gives me that nice sharp edge that I kind of want on there. You're just not gonna. I'm close. I think I'm at that point where I'm gonna finish off the back. We'll get the and then I would tweak it up in Blender. I need a sock. I need to do socks, but we're not getting to that. I've got 3 minutes left. I'm going to, well, let's put the strap on. Let's finish. We'll get this pushed back to here. We'll shape that a little bit, and then we'll call it a day. My strap needs to be whatever this length is in here, just a little bit more. So I'm just going to drag that through there. I'm just going to do a couple of tweaks on that. I'm probably going to refine it later. I need to add a little internal line through here so that I can sew this to that. I'm going to add a little internal line. I probably should make you symmetrical. So that I can add a little internal line on this. And is that going to be about where I want it? I think so. That might be good. And I'm just going to sew that to maybe somewhere in here. Let's line you up. I'm going to line that up, and then I'm just going to finish the back of the heel, and we'll call it a day here. Let me save you before I forget. And we'll look and see if any of the art fronts are on, and we'll raid out in a short bit. Save project. I am in the right folder. Yay. Penny loafers. I did always want penny loafers, by the way. I have saddle Oxfords made. I didn't want to do saddle Oxfords again. I wanted something a little different. And I definitely didn't want to do engineer boots because we did that with the Rebel outfit. And I'm trying to make this a little bit different. Let's move you over there, and let's rotate you a little bit. I probably have to adjust the length on that a little bit, depending on how that fits. Because if it's pulling too tight. All right, and I'm going to tweak this and get that heel to fit a little bit better. Actually, I'm going to shape the heel first, and then we're going to take the symmetry off and adjust that length just a little. So I'm going to take you. What I want is I want like a 90 degree or so angle on here. And I think we want it to bow out a little bit further through here. So maybe I'm just going to pull that. And I can't see what I'm doing. I think I went past 90 on there. I think that's like 89.7 right in here. I think that's 90.1. I think that'll be good. Okay, now I'm going to take the linked editing off on that. And then we're going to tweak this length to match that length, 271.3. So I'm going to push that out to 271.3. Change length, 271.3. That's almost a 10. So I may, oh man, that is a nasty line there, isn't it? I'm going to get rid of you. I'm going to redo that later. These could probably nudge back one. And maybe pull you back. Actually, I don't want to nudge those. I just want to slide you guys back a little bit. Maybe like that. Maybe bring you in a little. Maybe just grab that one point and bring it in a little. The idea is to get that back to, I think that might work. Let me make sure that that's 79.1 and this is 79.1. Or 71.9. Let's change that a little bit. Change length, change length, change length. There it is. 71.9. I want to go the other way though, like that. Okay, that I'm going to get rid of. I'm going to resew. Right, let's adjust this sewing line here to that. Let's go ahead and sew these together. That gives me a really nice heel shape. I like that. All right, this is floating around because I took that sewing off. We'll add that back. Offset as an internal line. And then I'm just going to resew you back onto there. And I'm going to adjust those. Something like that. All right, this is where I'm going to stop for today. So Penny Loafer is in process. It's a hot mess though. That kind of helps a little bit. I'm probably going to tug around with that a little. Anyhow, thank you all for being here. Rapid, thanks for being here. Appreciate it. CS Bond was in the house, baby. Check out my man Charles. Doesn't stream a lot over on Twitch, but he does have a cool Discord. We will be back tonight at 8 p.m. for our Saturday Night Social. Anything in the gallery will be shared tonight. It's an art share. It's a Discord chat. It's an old cartoon. We will be watching, hopefully, Mickey Mouse's the Mad Scientist Lab thing. That's it. That's what's on tap for tonight for the Saturday Night Social. Anyhow, let's see. So YouTube, thanks. Remember, like and subscribe. Appreciate that. If you're on Twitch, feel free to join the raid. We will drop the raid calls in here. And then apparently I'm supposed to not call these things by name. So I'm going to say the purple people. Feel free to join my raid. Where are we heading to? I don't know. Who's on the Twitch first today? Dum dum dum. See if any of the art friends are on, and if none of them are on, I'm just going to see it. Maybe Irumakin or somebody like that. I'm scrolling down to the bottom of my list, and then I'm going to work my way back up. DJ Stulu is on, so we might just hang out with DJ Stulu. He is a DJ friend. Go check. Nope. Taddy Bidet. Taddy's on. We'll do Taddy. Looks like Taddy's actually gaming. Lady Destroya is doing Arc Raiders. Meeksy's doing art. Let's say hi to Meeksy. Yeah, we'll do that. Meeksy's a marvelous painter. She's currently taking a short break, but that's cool. She does absolutely incredible work. We'll do that. You have the raid calls. Feel free to copy the one that works for you. That's if you're not a subscriber. This is if you are a subscriber. Hey, here's the Discord link. Feel free to join. And Rafed, good to see you over in the Discord. Thanks for joining, man. I do sell stuff at Daz. Feel free to buy. So check that out. And are we good? We good. We got the raid calls. We got the Sheens. I shouted out Charles. Thanks, man. I hope you're getting some good rest. And so let's do this. Slash raid. And we'll start this raid over to... I gotta copy that. There's too many double letter combinations. Too many Y's. I think I'm seeing 3 Y's, but I can't read. Control V. Here's where we're heading. All right. Raid has been... Okay, we will be back tonight, 8 p.m. for the Saturday Night Social, Eastern Time. And then the next art stream like this will be Monday, 2 p.m. Making stuff for Daz Studio. So thank you all for being here. Yeah. I'm umming a lot today, aren't I? Anyhow, hasta la vista, baby.